What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. What's happening, folks? Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody is doing all right. And today's topic, we are talking about why your dog won't accept strangers, why your dog will not accept other dogs. If you are that person, or if you know someone that is going through that, make sure you let them know that this video is going down right now and you can ask questions live. You can also ask them yourself. You don't have to ask on behalf. On Instagram too, if anybody wants to talk to me one-on-one, feel free to join my live stream. Okay. So I talk to a lot of people and I talk to them extensively. And in doing so, which actually is one of the things I love to do, in doing so, I start to pick up patterns. I start to hear similarities. So what I'm about to tell you is coming from my experiences, me picking up on those patterns as to the common denominator amongst dogs who come to me that do not accept strangers and very territorial, do not accept other dogs being in their territory or whatever it may be. I really want to dive deep on what I think is going on as far as exactly why that's happening. Why does your dog choose to not let anybody in? Is it fear? Is it uh, dominance? Is it um, their sketchy past? What's driving the dog to act like that? And most people would say, when they call me, most people would say that it is fear. So right away, go to that. That's their go-to. Yep, fear. The reason why your dog won't accept strangers is because he's scared. It's because this is what all the people who have rescues say. Oh, he must have been locked up in the cage for the first 4 months of his life. Those are the two most common things that I hear as an excuse as to why the dog is fearful of humans and or uh, other dogs, but mostly obviously humans. So let's explore that frame of thinking. First, cheers to whoever's watching. All right. So let's get a couple things out the way. Um, again, this is all coming from the conversations that I've had, the many conversations. I actually really like digging in when I'm on the phone with people. I really like digging in to try and figure out if I can actually, in an attempt to help them, I want to know for sure that I can actually help them before I accept them. So I ask tough questions, and after I get to know, but it's kind of difficult in this industry, and I'm sure there's other industries that are similar, but it's kind of difficult because you're talking to a stranger who doesn't necessarily know you, who is going to be, I don't want to say defensive, but they're their dog's advocate. And to have somewhat true honesty is to risk being judged. So sometimes people aren't as honest as they need to be with me. But over the years, I've developed, certain ways to get to the truth one way or the other. Because again, at the end of the day, before I accept your dog, I want to know that I can get that dog to be better. And most of the time, that is the case. I can get your dog uh, to a better place because I'm just, again, when I'm picking up on patterns, I'm like, yep, I can help you. I can help. I can help you when I hear the same similar things. Even again, despite sometimes the owners being not defensive. I don't want to say defensive because I'm not confronting them for them to be defensive. I'm just asking questions to get to the core truth about what's going on. Hey, Mandy, how are you? Um, so, all right. Why would your dog accept strangers? Why won't your dog just accept new things? That's a better question. How many new things can your dog confidently go through or experience? And the answer for a lot of the dogs who are not afraid of strangers, won't accept strangers. Those are two different things, in my opinion. And they blend together, but there's still a little bit of a gap between the two. Fear and the the rejection of new things, of strangers, can be separated pretty much. Fear alone, pretty quickly with time. But when you add in why the dog just chooses to sort of, then that, in my opinions, is it deviates from fear. So um, I guess we can get into more of what that looks like. But um, so, in my opinion, dogs who won't accept strangers have of have a lot of common behaviors that I'm about to tell you or show you or tell you. Um, okay, here's one. Let's just start off positive. Dogs who don't accept strangers, more times than not, are very intelligent dogs. They're very intelligent. They know what to do. You can teach them something very quickly. Their eye contact is usually very good. Um, so their intelligence is very high. They know what to do. They know how to come, sit, down, stay. Hopefully, a lot of them are like that. But the thing that's missing is the ability to do it when strangers come over. A lot of the times, these dogs they like, they're assertive. They like to be in control. So I tell people, let's start thinking about all of the areas in which the dog takes control because that's again one common denominator. We're gonna talk about a lot of them, but that's one. The dog just likes to be in control. Barks out the window when other dogs come by. Obviously, barks its head off when the UPS man comes. Um, those dogs seem to be just very caught up in their own comfort, if that makes sense. And we all know as humans, comfort kills. It's the same thing with dogs. If a dog is, just used to having life be this way and wants it bad enough, they'll do things to keep life this way. It's like a conservative that really is stubborn, decides to say, I'm going to stay in my little box and I'll never venture out of that box. Um, Hello, Melissa. Oh, I wish I could tell you about a cattle dog that I'm training now. He puts your boy to shame a little bit. This dog is ferocious. Um, so anyway, all right, back down to it. Let's get to the meat of it, man. So your dog won't accept strangers because it's not used to being uncomfortable. It's not used to being ignored by the owner. And it's not used to having someone take control for them so that they don't have to take control. Again, when the dog walks by and your dog barks out the window, or stranger walks by, dog barks out the window, that's your dog taking control of their territory because at that point it is theirs. It's not yours. Um, so so that's what it, that's one thing. Okay, your dog just likes to take control. Your dog continues to say, "I'm going to handle this. You're I don't care what you say." Talking about the owner. I don't care what you say. I'm going to handle it. Oh, it's Ruger through and through. Okay. Um, I'm going to handle it. I'm not safe. I don't feel safe. You, as owners, don't make me feel safe. So I'm going to self advocate. I'm going to go confront what I am insecure about, what I don't want, even despite not having bad experiences. Because again, it doesn't matter if the dog has had bad experiences or not. There are dogs who are just like that. There are dogs who just are genetically, no matter if they come out and be raised by the best dog people in the world. If they have the right dog, that dog will take control. They're just predisposed to do that. And I feel that most people, when faced with a dog like that, they'll send the dog away. They'll surrender that dog. Because without the education of knowing how to advocate for that dog, it can be some dogs will take over your life. Won't allow won't allow you to have guests over, won't allow you to have, you know, won't allow you to go on vacations, can't go anywhere. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Dogs like that are some dogs really have their owners, they control their owner's life. Can't go on vacation. Can't go anywhere. Can't take them anywhere. Dread going to the vet. Dread going to the groomer. Uh, what kind of life is that for you? Even though, despite in good faith, you bought this dog or you rescued this dog in good faith, there's got to be a give and take. Ellie is the most social friendliest Roddy we've ever owned. I can see the slow shift in him, trying to combat that now with him and my husband. Okay, please define for me and the audience, especially for me, what you mean by the friendliest, social friendliest Roddy we've ever owned. What does that mean? Please tell me. Yes, that is definitely Huxley too. Apollo and Jax. Okay. Um, so when people you're welcome, Mandy. I appreciate you. Um, when people come to me asking me that, or they'll say, let's just go off of what you said. My dog is very friendly and very social. When you develop a puppy, when you're going through a puppy, I should say this because I think there's a lot of people who don't know. And if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but I do want to make sure that if there are new people watching that they are aware of this as well. So, when you're raising a puppy and you want to make them social, it is not advisable to meet 1,000 different people and meet 1,000 different dogs. That is not how you raise a puppy to be social. You will actually be causing the dog to be antisocial. When you force them to interact and they're not ready for it. The more important thing is that you're able to read your dog. And here's a small little sign that a lot of people miss. But the nuance of getting a new puppy and having everyone enjoy that puppy leaves us blind to our ability to actually use our instincts to read the dog. There's so many German Shepherd puppies that go through this because German Shepherds, by nature, are cautious dogs. So when you have that puppy on leash, and here comes your neighbor saying, "Oh my God, look at this cute puppy." She walks up, maybe runs up, maybe whatever, sticks her hand out, and your puppy backs away. And you got this dog on leash, so you're telling the dog you ain't going anywhere. You have to be touched. Dog's like, man, I don't, I don't really know this person. And she's loud and obnoxious and getting in my face and talking really weird. It's like, and then once the dog gets older, maybe about it can start as old, it can start as young as 8 months, 7 months, whatever. Dog starts to go "Oh," when you start to approach, and then watches your interaction, and you go, and then dog goes, I made this person back away. Then the person comes a little closer. Oh, I love dogs. Then the dog goes, row, big bark. And then you go, whoa. And then all of a sudden, you're thinking as the owner, you're calling me and you're saying, he was never aggressive before. He's never done this before. Yeah, well, aggression is sort of the expression of him being cautious, and you just didn't know how to properly handle his cautious nature. So be selective as who you allow your dog to interact with, but you're going to have to be a strong enough person to actually do that. So when it comes to matching dog with owner, keep that in mind. You're not willing, if you want a dog to just be social with anyone and everyone, make sure you get the most social dog on the planet. So you don't have to do any. You'll still have to do some advocating, but there are dogs who are like, oh yeah, you can pet them, whatever, yeah, blah 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 blah. But for some of the dogs that I work with, some of the cautious breeds, the shepherds, the herding dogs, the working dogs, the terriers, dogs who are, used to having a job to do, they're going to be a little bit smarter because, dog breeders have bred for intelligence to get the best result in training and hunting and task oriented dogs. So those dogs will say, let me see if I can handle it because that's what I do. I handle things. I'm used to being assertive. So I guess I went on a little bit of a tangent here, but we got some more questions coming in. My rescue Charlie excitedly accepts people, but not other dogs very often. Is this still a response based in him wanting to control things? I think it is based on, here's my biggest theory about dogs not accepting new things. That's what it is. It's dogs not wanting to accept new things. Most of the dogs I work with have not only uh, uh, a fear of new people and dogs, but just in general, they may be a little bit quirky, or they may have just weird phobias that aren't necessary, aren't warranted. It's like, why are you afraid of cars? Why are you afraid of grocery bags? Why are you afraid of, just random things? So, that being said, the other big reason is this: check your dog's privilege. Check your dog's privilege, man. Dogs, kids, even people, same thing. You know, you kind of raise a dog who tends to be stuck up if you give in to their every wish. You kind of develop a dog who has a large ego. You kind of develop a pretentious temperament that says, I get what I want from this one person, don't care about the attention of others. There are literally kids that do that. They won't speak to adults, they won't say hi, they'll interrupt, they'll think that the world revolves around them. That's the biggest common denominator that I see amongst dogs who will not accept strangers and or other dogs. They're stuck in comfort. They tend to follow you around the house. Again, they tend to bark out the window. They tend to pull on leash. They tend not to come, but when they want to come, and only for a treat, if the appetite is actually good. Um, they kind of just blow you off. They jump on you. They jump on guests. They rush through the door. All those little common denominators, man, will directly affect how humble the dog can be. Our goal ultimately would be to show our human aggressive dog that if I bring people in the house, they can offer you the same sort of belly rub that I can. I know you don't know them. However, we need you to be a little bit more open because I can't not have people over because of you. This is not what we signed up for. I didn't get a dog to be the only person to enjoy you. Um, so check their privilege, man. Keep them humble. Each dog is different. Some dogs are going to need a lot of autonomy work, a lot of independent work. They're going to need a lot of opportunity to be away from their owner because you want to be able to. Maybe you got to go on vacation and board the dog. If you've got a really nice soul dog, they don't mind going to these boarding facilities. You don't want a dog that's going to stress the hell out. If you have a dog that you could take to to a boarding facility or whatever, and you know that the dog will stress, think about what I said. Because if you apply some of the things that I have been saying, your dog will do better in those situations. Here's another little measurement of how I know how spoiled your dog is or how privileged your dog is when they are with me. Most dogs, the average dog takes about a I'd say 4 days, 3 days, 4 days to actually, when they see me, start to wag their tail. Most dogs, they'll see me, they'll start wagging their tail. Those dogs are less spoiled. Some dogs, very rarely, good evening, Chris. Some dogs never get to a point where they're actually like open to really wanting to be friendly with me. Very rare. But again, it speaks to how spoiled they have been. And I know that because when owners come pick up their dog, the dog is off the hinges crazy. I mean, crazy, crazy. Um, so it's very important that you do the work at home, and it ain't even about work. I don't want I'm not using that word work. It's just about changing certain things. Here's a good command to. It's not even a command, but just a good thing to have in the relationship with your dog. When your dog decides when you decide your dog is annoying, th- you can go lay down and the dog actually take your word for it. That is a good point in your relationship if you can have that. A good step in the right direction of getting your dog to accept strangers. Because I got kids now. I've got a 3-year old and a 1-year old. Now I know this whole kid thing now. I'm getting to know it. And I know that if I say no to my son, he's going to go to my wife and ask the same question. Same thing with dogs. It's the same thing with dogs, even between husband and wife. There are some people who call me and say, my dog still doesn't like my husband. After 6, 7 months, even a year, my dog doesn't like my husband. Well, try ignoring or pushing away that dog. And that dog will go, really? You're gonna, you're, you're not gonna, oh, 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 how are you? You think you can give me those belly rubs that I like? Cause homegirl is she's telling me no. You think you could rub this area right here? Cause I need it. I love it. And I mean that's how it happens, man. That's how it happens. My neighbor, Australian Shepherd, moved in his girlfriend. Dog would not go near the my neighbor. And I went over there and I said, you have to ignore this dog. Once you do that, he'll come to Todd, my neighbor. He'll go there. So it is about that, guys. It really is. That's a really powerful thing. I've seen it many, many times, even with my own dogs. I'll tell you a quick story. So me and my wife moving to Atlanta from Atlanta to here. We rent a house in Green Bay. Of course, landlord knows that I got pit bulls. At the time I had two. And I had two human aggressive dogs, man. One was named Tobias, one was named Mama. Both human aggressive dogs. Do you think I was sweating my ass off like, oh God, this is gonna go great. Horrible. I mean really meaning horrible. This is gonna go horrible. Landlord is gonna meet my dogs and then this is not gonna be good. So, but again, I'm the type of guy who, if my dogs are and it's partly probably because I work with dogs all day, but I get annoyed and I say, go on, go lay down. Um, that was really the first moment where I knew that what I was doing could actually help a lot of dogs in the sense where, you know, I have an affectionate dog. I know my dogs like affection. If I kind of pull back a little bit on what I give them, they may go to may seek it out in others, and that includes strangers. And that's exactly what happened. My little mama went right up to that landowner. I mean that landlord, and she gave him her butt because she likes butt scratches. I'm like, well, that was awesome. So I know it to be true, folks. I know it to be true, man. You got a dog that doesn't like strangers, tell the dog to go lay down. When it's just you and them, don't let the dog lay on the couch all the time by you every time, all the time. It's just gonna be a situation where they're gonna be stuck in that comfort zone, okay? And they're not, and anything that adjusts it or threatens it, they're gonna have a problem with. But it's like we gotta relay to our dogs that hey, if I let the door open, if I open the door and I voluntarily let these people in, then as guests and not try and manipulate my family, my friends, and that. I have a chihuahua that is very afraid of everything like the wind, dogs his size. See, that's what I'm talking about. Chihuahua scared of the wind. That's crazy. How is a dog afraid of wind? But there are some dogs who are afraid of every. Oh, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. I had a Shiba Inu only afraid of Cheeto bags because one time I don't even know how it happened, but the dog saw a Cheeto bag and just sprinted. So anyway, any of you guys have any questions about what I just asked or just discussed? Feel free to chime in. We are live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And if anybody wants to join live, like you see me, I see you too, go over to my Instagram and join. It'd be fun. All right, what are some other exercises you could suggest to make your dog more humble? Um, so make them work for the things that they want. Always provide the dog with what they need, but make them work for what they want. Like they want couch time, they want bedtime, they want maybe food, they want treats. Do not let them be pushy for those things. They want to maybe go outside. Do not let them be pushy. That's the key. Where's your dog? Where's your dog being pushy for their wants? And how and are you giving in to that? Because the most time if we're prioritizing wants versus needs, that's where the the bad stuff can happen. You're just dealing with a dog that goes, I can, I can, I can, I want, I can, I will. I'll have it. There's nothing there's nothing for me to stop me. There's nothing going to stop me. They may be mad at me for a day, but I'll be back in their bed tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Those that kind of dog. Um, anything you got in your hand, they got to sniff. Anything new, they got to investigate. Anytime that door opens, they got to go over there. Um, all those things can be reasons why you know your dog decides to stay in comfort. How do I trust Major to go up to someone? My anxiety over his silent bite, I can't get over. Put a muzzle on him, and then be able to read your dog. You're a very experienced dog person. You should be able to read him. But if you have any question at all about your dog hurting someone with their teeth, muzzle them when they're around people. That's one thing. But obviously, then muzzle and be able to control as well. The muzzle will help take that anxiety away, where then you can kind of be more confident, and the dog will feed from that. The dog will feel that, and the dog will respond better because of that. He is huge, but he can't hurt someone with a muzzle on. I think people should muzzle train their dogs if they again have any question. If your dog is nervous at all, muzzle train him. Your vet will appreciate you. Your groomer will appreciate you. And your dog will probably maybe appreciate you. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm allowed to ask. Of course, you're allowed to ask. How is Ruger doing? Have you noticed any progress yet? Of course. Every day it gets better. Awesome. That's great to hear. He's now better than now that he's on Raw. Awesome. Great to hear. Do you recommend muzzling a dog around other dogs? Yes. My dog pees when she greets a stranger. Any way I can mitigate that? Yes. You can mitigate that by teaching the dog to become calm on command. Also, give her a break from being met by a stranger. Don't meet strangers for a while. Let the dog see that you don't put her in a situation where she gets nervous enough to pee. Your dog needs you to do that for her. Him, whatever. She, I'm sorry. Your dog needs you to do that for her. Let the dog come to a realization that when she sees a stranger, she's not obligated to interact with this person. So if you have to get a vest, if you don't want to say, no, I'm sorry, can't be pet, get a vest. that says do not pet. But then there's the whole, people are going to judge me because I got a aggressive dog. Nope, it's not true. Service dogs don't get pet by every single person, and service dogs can get along. I mean, can become calm no matter what the situation. They do not. How their genetics are awesome, but they do not meet and greet every single person. All right, start raising a dog like a service dog. Service dogs can go anywhere. Specifically when meeting new dogs, yes. However, along with that muzzle training, though, well, it depends on your situation. But there's no harm in muzzle training your dog and then introducing the dog to new dogs. Not at all. Dogs can get used to a muzzle so much so that it's like a collar or a harness, like any training tool, if you use it right. Um, Definitely got to get a Baskerville muzzle or a basket muzzle, one that goes over where the dog can breathe out of its mouth, drink, and accept treats. Those are good muzzles. Baskerville is a good brand. And for most dogs, they're probably going to wear a 3 or a 4 size wise, but you can go to the store and size it for them. I equate a muzzle kind of like, a horse has to wear a saddle or something. It just is what happens. It's unnatural, obviously, but they can they can deal with it after a while. They can become very comfortable with it. Okay, let's see if I got all the questions here. He doesn't want to eat people. Loves when people come to our house. He's a total opposite of Dozer. Yeah, but let's define what love means. What do you mean? What does he act? How does he act? If your dog loves when people come over, what does that mean? Over to him and is super excited and has to greet on him maybe and has to greet him. That's not love. That's necessity. It's obsession, and that should be stopped. Guarantee if you stop that dog from greeting people right away, the dog will not, it won't make him antisocial. You'll just show your dog that you can control the dog, which is what is needed anyway. You don't have to, you don't, you're not going to lose out if you stop your dog from greeting someone, even if they really look like they want to. Half the time, if they really look like they want to, they shouldn't. Because obviously, what happens is if someone touches that dog while it's like this, you're only perpetuating this. Let's act like this. No, 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 no. Let's wait until everything's cool, calm, and collected. Then things can happen. My rescue Charlie excitedly accepts people, but not other dogs very often. Is this deal based? Oh, I already answered that. Yo, Brianna, what's happening? Long time no talk. Seems like you're doing well, man. Keep up the great work. You're welcome, Kristen. Yeah, Ruger's doing great, man. I mean, he just met a stranger today and was totally cool, calm, and collected. Not even a, a growl or a woof. The dog was just like, all right, there's a person. Um, So, he's a tough one though. I always keep it very much so real. And Ruger he's not an easy dog, man. You know, um, we'll go through all of it, obviously, but he's a big cane corso trapped in an Akita's body. That's what I think he is. Um, he's super cautious, super sensitive, and very intelligent, and very big. Those four things are tough to deal with for the average dog owner, for sure. Tough to deal with anybody. Those are the dogs that really stay. It's like small dogs and or extra big dogs are similar in the sense where people tend to feel pretty sorry for small dogs because they're small, and then people tend to let big dogs get away with more because they're big, or they tend to they're kind of forced to give in to that big dog because they're big. Big dogs have a different way of getting what they want that is opposite from the small dog, but it's still the same thing. The average dog is more humble than on average than the bigger dogs, Great Danes, Akitas, Cane Corsos, even Mastiffs, whatever. And then again, small dogs are tough to deal with because you don't really take them serious. What am I drinking tonight? Um, Peppermint schnapps. Earlier, you talked about clingy dogs. Ruger is very much clingy. I know. How's the best way to go about negating that? The go lay down? Yes. Usually we say back up and he'll give us space. Yes. Tell him to go lay down. I could see his big, strong butt right in your face being like, pay attention to me. Um, yeah, that's going to be a big one for you. Even in the backyard when you let him out, um, he needs to not decide when he comes back in. Obviously, he's a dog who can handle harsh weather. Um, so there's really no excuse. The dog needs to really be comfortable in its own skin. And he does amazing in the crate, by the way, which is awesome. Not a lot of clingy dogs do great in the crate. He does very well. He's super silent and quiet. But he's super cautious. He really is. But he's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. That dog, I can't imagine seeing that dog's picture as a puppy. Holy smokes. That's like insane cuteness. Um, all right. So, how do we stop our dog from chewing up the seat cover every time we leave him to do an errand? The seat cover. Are you talking about obviously in your car or in your house? All right, let's see if we got another question. Because if it's in the car, it's different. I mean, it's not that different. I'm going to tell you kind of the same thing. But if it's funny now that I took female pup, Major spends more time in his kennel. Car. So what you need is more structure inside the car. You want to teach the dog to become calm in the car. So when you're driving, if your dog knows how to do a down or a sit, more times than not, make the dog do that. And then just test it. Put the dog in the car, get out of the car, go about 10 feet or go behind the car, whatever. Go back. Sure, the dog will be standing up looking at where the hell you're at. Tell the dog, lay down or sit or whatever. Use their skills to get them to be more calm because it is obviously anxiety driving that. If the dog barks at all in that car, obviously that's got to be stopped as well. But bottom line, giving a dog something to do in the midst of what looks like excitement sprinkled on by obsession. I don't let any of my dogs do something obsessively. I stop them from doing everything or anything obsessively just to check, just to make sure they can control it themselves. Because some dogs can't control it themselves. They've never been guided on how to uh, sort of self-regulate. They've never been guided. So obsession has got to be stopped. I don't care what it is, even if it's for a ball. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Even for a ball, retrieving a ball. If you're out there just throwing the ball and bringing it back, throwing the ball and bring it back, throwing the ball and bring it back, throwing the ball and bringing it back, throwing the ball, and the dog just no, that's not even mentally challenging at that point. It's just that's just it's kind of shallow. Make the dog use its brain a little bit. It will help bring calmness. You know, that's basically what I do here. Ellie is super independent compared to our past Rotties, which makes life seemingly easy. But I just know the dominant mind is buried in there. He's just hit 9. Eli, I'm sorry. 9 months, so I know it's coming. I want to start e-collar training. What would you like to improve with him, with the e-collar? All right, guys. Anybody else? Feel free to ask some questions. We got about 5 minutes left, and yeah, we're talking about back to the subject. Man, we're talking about the main reasons or why your dog just says, "I don't want you around. I'm gonna try and control you." There's plenty of people that have guests that get up and get bit in the butt. Oh, it was fine until he got up and started moving. That's that controlling dog, guys. That's that controlling dog. We have to know what kind of dogs we're dealing with, what kind of personality individually. We can't compare. We can't compare this dog to that dog. We have to treat them as and provide them with what they need. And we can give them what they want to figure out how much they can actually handle to stay humble. Obviously, our nature is to give them everything, live their best life. But it's a two-way thing. It's a relationship. It's a give and take between you and the dog. And the dog will be more happy if it has boundaries. that are unwavering. If you don't have boundaries, if your dog doesn't respect certain things about the relationship, then the dog is dangerous and it's a liability, even if it's aggressive or not. There was a dog, I just saw a video on Facebook of a dog running out and after a motorcyclist hit the motorcyclist. Motorcyclist fell over its bike. Dog tumbled over. He was all right. Dog was all right. Don't know about the person, but that's a liability. Some people getting sued just because they have a dog that could recall or that could come when called. If you can't say no, come, and I mean obviously yelling in that situation. You see your dog, you watch your dog running towards this motorcyclist, you better scream at the top of your lungs, no, come, whatever. You don't have that. Your dog's a liability, man. Do you feel that Huxley is being territorial when he growls at other dogs that get too close to the kennel while he's in it? Yes. Make sure the food is up. Make sure there's no bones. Then then don't tolerate it after that. We rescued a pity lab mix a little over a year ago. He was nervous of us the day we met him, but eventually he came out of his shell. We have friends and family over regularly. We've always told everyone to ignore him and let him come to you. He's gotten better with our small group of people, but realizes they're on our property, um, but will bark and growl at any of them once he realizes they're on our property. Is this part of the nervous side of him that needs to be corrected? Yes. He is good with basic commands, sit down, stay, things like that. No, he's not. Generally speaking, I tell him to be quiet when he does it. He's also scared to go inside pet stores and the vet. At the vet office, he will completely lose him bladder and bowel because of how scared he is. 2 weeks ago, he started getting scared of beeping as well. Detector, dead battery, and fridge door alarm. So far, he gets so scared he pants and shakes excessively. Uh, all right. So here's what you do, man. You gotta really take control of this dog's mind so he can again learn to regulate himself. If a dog, all aggressive dogs have those little fears of weird stuff. Um, and they've got to be able to trust you. They got to be able to take your word for it because at the moment he's only taking his what he what he perceives is his gospel. There's nothing else going to convince him otherwise. We got to figure out how he can consider us in every situation. That's how you be your dog's true parent. You know, um, if you say come, does he decide to go no, or does he say all right? You've gotta be able to strengthen that right there, um, because that's what happens when those little things that just make him terrified, or allow him to be insecure of people. Now, again, if he knows those basic commands, sit down, stay, then use that sort of not against them, but against him. I mean, use it when you need it. Tell him to go lay down when the beeper thing is going on. Anytime that he gets nervous, he needs you to step in and give him something to do. Um, because again, you're the dog's teacher, you're the dog's guardian, you're the dog's. So he needs to be able to trust you on leash as well. He'll go into pet stores if he does so. The environment should always be secondary to the the relationship, the dialogue that you've built with your dog. The environment is secondary because you can't take your dog everywhere, but you should be able to. Which means, what I mean by that is, you obviously, let's just say this, because this is how some trainers think, and it's really ridiculous. Oh, if you want them to get used to pet stores, take them to every pet store. Oh, if you want to get them used to people, let everyone touch him. Oh, if you want to get them used to dogs, take them to the dog park. And it's like, no, no, and no. It's more so again about how strong is your relationship. Can you take that dog off leash, walk the other way, and your dog decides to follow you? If not, you got work to do. Because that's what my dogs do without any command, e-collar or leash or nothing. If I take my dog off leash and I walk the opposite way, immediately you're walking with me. Then we walk 10 feet that way, I'll turn back that way. Dog's coming right back with me. They don't go anywhere without me. You need to want your dogs to you should want your dogs to it should be an obligation for your dogs to come to you. Like they should know that they have to come. And we obviously want them to want to come. And that's where that balance comes in. Making that need look like a want in a dog's body language. I want to do this. I know I have to, but my owner's done a good enough job of making it a fun thing. So I want to. I want to listen. That's a really good uh, level of a healthy relationship between you and your dog. So really look to work past all those little fears. Let's just say your dog's afraid of stairs. It's your job to get that dog through that because it's stairs. Let's say your dog's afraid of water. Get your dog swimming. Sometimes you do have to force them to enjoy the things that they may enjoy. Don't tell me you got a Newfoundland that can't swim. Come on. Can you believe I had that situation one time? Someone came to me with a Newfoundland that said she doesn't swim, won't go near the water. Huh? What? You know, this Newfoundland's cousins, uncles, aunties, ancestors, everything swim. They're built to swim. And you're trying to tell me this dog can't swim? No, that's not the case. We got to show him how good that water will be. It's a life skill too, man. You take your dog on the boat, dog should know how to swim. Take your dog near water, dog should know how to swim. There's literally, especially in here in Appleton, well, I'm in Green Bay, but in Appleton, there's literally places you can go and have your dog coached to learn how to swim. Especially for these young, long-haired dogs in the summer, y'all. Get these dogs in the water, man. You know, go swimming with your dog. It's awesome bonding to do that. So let's not tolerate these little unwarranted phobias. It's an opportunity to get your dog to to strengthen your dog's relationship with you. All right, off topic, but in your opinion, no specific dog, just generally, how's the best way to introduce two dogs? For example, my mother-in-law adopted a new dog. Uh, How's the best way to introduce two dogs? For example, my mother-in-law adopted a new dog. um, depends. Depends on depends on if the dog that your dog mom adopted. Depends on gender. Depends on temperament. Depends on age. Those things you have to take into account. Let's say the new dog. It just depends on breed. I mean, it depends on things. If you clarify, I mean, if you give me a description of those things, give me breed, give me age, give me sex, gender, and then give me your overall opinion on temperament, age, gender. What else did I say? Breed. Just give me those things and see what, and then I can give you a better answer. Um, okay. He comes and stays on command. No, he doesn't. He's 9, 10 off leash unless we go for a walk in the neighborhood. He does good on the leash. I haven't tried the pet store recently, but that's how he was shortly. That's how he was shortly after we got him. Okay, but when I say good on leash, it's different from what you would interpret good on leash is. I doubt he's good on leash. Because if he was good on leash, he would follow you in that pet store, no problem. And if his cum was really good, then he'd trust you over the environment. It's not good. He does it for a treat, or he does it when it's loses appetite, which means you can't bribe him with treats, and he doesn't trust you enough to to take your word over his own insecurities. So again, when you say he's good on leash, I'd have to see it because our definitions of good on leash are different. 9 months, female, bulldog boxer mix, hyper. And what kind of dog are you introducing it to? Yeah, yeah. He comes and stays on command. Well, again, if he comes, then when you go walk into that store and he refuses to go in the store, say come. If it's so good, you're good. You should have no problem. Again, there's a difference between doing it when it's for treats and or when he's really comfortable versus doing it when there's a squirrel or something that scares him. Here's a good here's when that come is good. It's when he's chasing after that squirrel and you can say come and he comes. That's when it's good. Here's an example of when he's good on leash. When that leash is completely loose and you can turn without saying anything to him, and he turns with you with the leash loose the entire time. Make a U-turn, and the dog and that J in that leash stays there. Oh, you want to introduce him to Ruger? Oh, I think you'll be fine with a female. Yeah, I think you'll be fine with a female. Yeah, 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 yeah. He really likes my golden retriever. 9 months, so dog's not going to be dominant if it is. the temperament of a dominant dog is not going to be necessarily dominant at 9 months, unless I don't know. Could be. Have you seen this dog interact with other dogs? What's that? What's her body language like? Is it just hyper submissive or hyper insecure dominant? So obviously the best way to be would be is I don't know where you live. I think you live in Appleton, but um take them to a dog park. Take both to a dog park on a very a day where there's no one there. Or hell, take them to a large area. In my opinion, this is the best way. This is what I love to do when I get a new dog. I like taking a pack walk. I like having my dogs off leash, and I like to move with the new dog and the pack. So we'll go around a nice large yard or something like that. And the rules are no touch, no talk, no eye contact with both dogs. Just kind of let them figure it out. Have Ruger's collar on. I'll tell you all about it, but I think you should be all right. Ruger has proven to be a sweetheart, especially when it comes to females. He's a little insecure when it comes to my Great Dane, and I have an Argentine Dogo that's staying with me, but he seems to be he seems to be nervous dominant around males, but not necessarily females. So you might be all right. Miss Dallas. Oh, who's that? Okay, who's that? Let's see. All right, guys. Ask me some more questions if you like. Again, the topic. Oh, really? I'm not really sure. She runs around really airheaded. We are in Wausau. My mother-in-law is in Milwaukee. Well, listen, boxers are their own special breed. They definitely, you know, German shepherds and boxers are eternal enemies. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, they're just kind of opposite. I'd say keep that boxer on leash when you're doing it. Keep Ruger off leash. Um, and when Ruger comes in to see what's up, um, just we'll talk about it. But I mean, I got Ruger to disengage when I want to, right? If he's being, dominant to my dog, I can press the vibrate button and he'll just kind of walk away, which is what you'll want in the beginning because it kind of tells both dogs that you can control both dogs, which is the most important thing. Most important thing when you're socializing two dogs to guarantee success is to have control of both dogs long enough to where the interactions are pleasant, short and sweet. And then as they get as time goes on, you won't have to be in control. You can just wean off of it. But that's with everything, isn't it? That's kind of with everything. We don't allow a 10-week-old puppy to just have free roam in the house. And if we do, they're going to be calling me because the dog's pissing and crapping everywhere. So we always start off with crate, which is control. And then as the dog gets older, we wean off the control. The crate goes away. And that. So it's all about control for long enough. But you got to be able to read your dog. Got to be able to read that dog, man. All right, y'all. I mean, I ain't got nothing else. ain't got nothing else. So if you guys like this, enjoyed it at all, give me a thumbs up, a heart, a like, a whatever. Um, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I've got some really good stuff on there, and I'm gonna continue to put some good stuff on there when I have time. Oh yeah, you're in Wausau, not Appleton. Why'd I think you're in Appleton? Um, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I don't necessarily do these things weekly because I want to make sure that I don't know, just really want to talk about what I want to talk about as opposed to just being on here every week. I think it's a little bit easier for me. So I'll let you know when the next time we go live. All right? All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time. Uh-oh.